Thank you for joining us and welcome to the show with me, Jules Hallam. Today we have the pleasure of sitting down with Youngman. Thanks for joining us today, dude. Lovely to meet you.
Pleasure to be here.
So how's it been today, man?
Yeah, wicked, thanks.
Good, good. You were just saying it's just been announced you're on the Radio 1 C list.
It's good news. It's an exclusive as well.
Yeah.
It's an exclusive.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we're moving. We're doing pretty well. Like the response for Who Knows, the single, it's been mental, overwhelming. Really happy.
Yeah. How are you feeling about the track in general?
Feeling it's weird. Like I recorded it about a year ago.
Oh right.
Yeah.
So it's been knocking around for a while.
Yeah, I recorded it a year ago, and it was mental. Like it literally was with Skream and Benga at Rinse FM.
Yeah.
And Skream must have played this track. Which the time, we was eating Nando's in the Rinse FM studio. Me and Benga looked at each other and thought, yeah. So I got the mic and was like, yo, everybody, like, Skream, you got to give me this and let me vocal it. So I took the track home with me that week, brought it back, played it to the listeners, and it kind of just built from then.
Yeah.
So it's going to be the first single from my debut album. It's exciting.
Well, what is Who Knows really about for you?
Yeah.
There must be a secret meaning to it.
Yeah, I mean, the most obvious meaning on the surface of the record is it's kind of like a relationship with a girl that for some reason it's lost that zest, it's lost something, it's not what it used to be. And I think that happens to a lot of people in relationships. You go through ups and downs, and there's times where you forget why you're together and why you do love them. And I kind of wanted to explore that. And then, like, more generally speaking, it's just about losing something in life, which we all
special
do.
Feeling.
Yeah, whatever it is. It might be a passion for a hobby, or a passion for work, or anything you do, and just trying to get it back. And I do believe that you can get it back.
Okay, how does it go? I'm guessing this must be about one particular person.
Nobody's ever asked me that before, to be fair. I've never gone into this depth. It kind of I wouldn't say it was about one person per se, but I have been in situations in the past when all of a sudden, it's like the relationship's kind of like, I say in inverted commas, like died, it's dead. And
you don't really know why.
You don't know why. You don't know where it's gone. You're trying to get it back.
Sure.
You're trying to run here, run there. You're trying to do, and sometimes you don't do enough, and it does die. But I think it's so relevant. So many people get divorced and that these days when you could potentially rekindle.
Well, how do you feel about that?
I feel like my parents are still married, and it's been a beautiful like situation for me to come from such a positive, grounded background. So in that sense, I'd definitely like to offer that the same to my offspring. I think it's definitely nice to have a soulmate. Do you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
I mean, sex is sex, but I'm after something real.
Yeah, but there's a difference between meeting a girl on a night out and having a bit of fun than finding someone who, as you say, you have a special connection with. There's such a huge difference.
Who knows? Who knows what's going to happen for us? Who knows?
I'm trying to sell the single there, right?
Hey.
But it's interesting looking a little bit more about your family. Your dad is obviously Bassline Smith, who had a huge presence in, or still does, in the drum and bass world. And that's kind of where you came from musically, MCing on drum and bass and kind of dubstep sounds.
Yeah.
But with the single now, it seems very, very much more R&B. There's that real R&B element to it. How do you feel about that shift?
Yeah, well, this is kind of how it was. A lot of people don't know this, but I was always really big into my R&B. And like my mum, and my parents even together would always play me the soul and the Motown and the jazz and the R&B and the pop records. So actually, those things came before the dubstep and drum and bass. I actually wanted to be like an R&B singer, like from like the age of like 10. I went to see Usher live, and then that was it.
Really?
Yeah. So I wanted to always do R&B, and it was kind of like I got into old school garage at like 13, 14. And then I got into drum and bass after having something that was kind of halfway in between. And that's where this influence is coming from now.
Sure.
So I'm fusing the two worlds, which I feel great about, because there's more than one way to get from A to Z. Do you know what I mean?
Because you were part of the member of the Music Society's College Youth Theatre and Choir programme when you were younger. I'm interested to hear that you were part of a choir.
I loved choir, and You know, at school there's two kind of cliques. There's the choiry, dancey, music people.
Yeah.
Who are you know? There's mad stereotypes about the male guys in that environment, and then there's the football, rugby guys. Well, I just did both, and
so it's like an alter ego. 1 minute you were
I literally
with the cool kids.
I literally was playing a match. Running into like choir rehearsal in my shin pads, all sweaty, and like getting changed to sing. Like, I was that guy. But I mean, I was in the National Youth Theatre, and I performed at the Royal Albert Hall.
Really?
Queen Elizabeth Hall.
Such a beautiful building.
I performed at like many of the biggest theatres in the country, like from 13. So it was always what I wanted to do. It's mad.
How would you feel about someone saying to you, your dad was already big into the music, and so that's kind of a big leg up for you?
Yeah.
Do you feel like you're following his footsteps in that way?
Yeah. Obviously, my father has been a massive inspiration to me musically. As a matter of fact, my dad never ever really encouraged me to do music. When my grandma passed away when I was like 6, she left me a piano, and that was the first time that my dad ever pushed me to do music and got me piano lessons, and that's kind of where it began. But he would always encourage me more to do football and to do other stuff and that, because he didn't want me to do what he did.
Yeah, of course.
He wanted me to get a degree.
Right.
And to do you know what I mean? And to do that type of academic things. So music's not easy. It's not easy.
No, of course not.
You know what I mean? But yeah, he's been a massive influence to me, and I'm grateful to have that background. At the same time, I've always been about standing up on my own and doing my own thing and making my own networks. I moved to London when I was 19, and kind of from then all the networking and developments I've made, they've been pretty much off my own back.
Right.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask you as well, on meeting you seem to have scars on your arm and your neck.
Yeah,
there.
I do.
Can I ask?
Yeah, of course
what
you
that's
know.
about?
Well, this is another exclusive. Nobody's ever dared to ask me that. When I was about 3, I used to roll around, and when I wanted a drink, I used to go and get the cup. Not even my press girl knows this. I used to go and get my cup from the kitchen and give it my mum, give it my dad to get me a drink. One day I went to do that, and the kettle was bored, and I pulled the wire, and it basically fell and scolded me.
Jesus.
Sub story.
Yeah, right.
Still here.
There's certainly, you can,
Still here. The doctor, I was in hospital for about a year, and the doctor was like, "You'll never do this, you'll never walk. If you would have got here a couple of minutes later," my dad was running all the red lights.
Of course.
It just makes me feel like I'm the chosen one now.
So you got a single coming out at the end of January, 30th of January, I think?
29th, yeah.
29th. And then is that a precursor to an album later on this year?
Yeah, I'm working on my debut album. It's called Me and My Music. It's coming out on Digital Soundboy.
Sweet.
Executive producers, Benga, Shy Effects.
Yeah, you're touring with Benga as well.
Yeah, he's my good mate.
March.
Yeah,
nice.
He's my good mate. We're doing a Benga featuring Youngman tour.
Right.
National tour, which is going to be sick. I've done a tune with Breakage from my album.
Okay, nice.
Which I'm really excited
What do you think
about.
of Jess Mills?
I love her.
Yeah.
She's my good mate. What could be better than fighting fire?
Yeah.
She wears catsuits as well. I don't mind that. I never mind that.
Man, we did an interview with her last year, and she was wearing like leopard skin jacket and trousers.
You've already had the pleasure.
Yeah. She's lovely.
So yeah, that's coming out as well. So yeah, just look out. My album's going to be coming later in the year. I'm excited, man. Thanks for having me.
Well, loads of stuff to come from this guy, and well, it's been a real pleasure chatting with you.
Big up, nice to meet you, mate.
Thank you so much.
Stylish guy as well. Look at this.
I'm very flattered.
I feel understyled for this. Nobody told me. You didn't tell me this. It's like
what are you talking about? It's very casual.
I don't know what you're talking about. What are you talking about? All right, big up, man.
Thanks, dude.
See you in a bit.